Hello and welcome to Prudent Media. My name is Sachin Chatte and on this program we take a look at the latest releases. Today we will take a look at Hindustani 2 and Akshay Kumar's Sarfira. First, let's take a look at Hindustani 2. Hindustani 2 is the Hindi version of the Tamil film Indian 2, which is also a sequel to the 1996 film, which was also directed by Shankar. Even though Vigilante films have been around for a long time, that one starring Kamal Haasan had some essence, and how it was put together, it worked. That also included A.R. Rahman's songs Telephone Dhun Mein Hasne Wali and Maya Machindra, which were big hits back in the day. Alas, the sequel that has come out 28 years later has nothing going for it. I wouldn't care so much about the music, but the writing and the direction are absolutely bottom of the barrel stuff. Even the editing by the otherwise reliable Srikar Prasad has scenes that go on and they are so long that you could go out and have an expensive cup of tea and return without missing anything because you will find the same scene still going on. As is the wont of many such films, there is endless talking and howling. There is a non-stop barrage of dialogues and even a recitation competition has more pauses, but barring the odd scene here with a few seconds, someone or the other is always talking. It's quite exasperating and a big relief to hear the sound of silence once you are out of the theatre. Shankar is still in his 90s mode. Had this film released in the previous millennium, maybe it would have worked, but back then there was no social media, one of the key ingredients in this film that otherwise looks totally outdated. On the lines of the smoking kills warnings that come before the film, this one starts in a cheeky fashion with "corruption causes cancer to the nation, corruption kills" in Kamal Haasan's voice, and it gives some hope that this film might be different. But alas. Chitra, played by Siddharth, and his buddies run a YouTube channel called Barking Dogs. They expose the corrupt and do stories on problems that ail the society. Let's bark is how their videos end. An aspiring teacher jumps off a building to her death, a student can't pay his loans so he commits suicide, and some other tragedies happen when the YouTubers decide that only Dadaji, that's grandfather, can save the day. They start a campaign, Bring Back Indian, forcing Dadaji, also known as Senapati, which is played by Kamal Haasan, to come out of retirement. Never mind, he is over 100 years old, but he can still kick a few butts and turn a few baddies into horses. Now wait till you hear this. Senapati, that's Dadaji, is an expert in Varmam, a martial art from South India. He knows which nerves and muscles to twist to disable someone either temporarily or permanently. He does that to a corrupt Gujarati businessman, Darshan Bhai, played by Zakir Hussain, whose commode and bed both are gold-plated. But that doesn't help when you're fighting Senapati. Darshan Bhai starts jumping and neighing like a horse and eventually falls to his death. Then there is a doctor who does an operation and searches for the appendix looking at YouTube videos. The film has neither any style nor any substance. Buried beneath the mess is a noble idea with some potential. The country was corrupt back then and it remains that way even today. Even a simple vigilante movie done well would have worked, but this one just grates on the nerves. Worse, this film doesn't conclude. There is a part 3 slated for release in 2025 with Senapati fighting the British. I wonder if there is another sequel where he fights the aliens as well. I'm going to go with 1 out of 5 star for Hindustani 2. And now let's take a look at Sarfira. It is not often that you see a director remake their own film, but that is what Sudha Kongara has done. Sarfira is a remake of Sororai Poturu, which I didn't think too highly of, but it bagged a handful of national awards, including Best Feature Film. The Tamil film itself was based on the life and memoirs of G.R. Gopinath, the founder of Air Deccan, which was India's first low-cost airline. This is again a story of an underdog who fought against the odds, but instead of keeping it nice and simple, Kongara once again steps on the pedal of melodrama and paints everything in black and white. The film is so over the top that perhaps even an Air Deccan plane didn't fly so high. Usually any worthy biopic has inbuilt drama. It is up to the writer and director as to how they put it across. Now sadly, our biopics are plastered with overtly dramatic scenes which takes away the essence of what they want to convey. Akshay Kumar with afro hair plays Veer Matre, who was once a pilot in the Air Force. Now he lives in a village and wants to start his own airline. The actor is 56 years old and so the long hair is supposed to make him look younger. Now he is in a village and wants to start his own airline. The actor is 56 years old, and so the long hair is supposed to make him look young since he is tending to an arranged marriage proposal from a feisty young girl, Rani, played by Radhika Madan. Now she has her own ambitions of starting a bakery. Many biopics tend to focus on the personal and professional life of the protagonist, and most of the time they fail because they get the proportion wrong. If the film is about a gentleman who started an airline, we want to see that. We are not so keen to see how he romanced his wife. Sarfira is set in Maharashtra, but apart from the supporting characters using the lingo, you couldn't tell where the main character comes from. Matre has a couple of colleagues who join him in his effort of starting an airline, but his father doesn't think too highly of him. The endeavor continues, but without much success. Corrupt officials and a rival named Paresh Goswami, played by Paresh Rawal, reprising his role from the Tamil film. That character is shown to be so evil and will stop at nothing to ensure that Matre doesn't have his way. That includes bribing the captain of the plane to fiddle with the engine oil so that the test flight is sabotaged. Then there is another plane landing scene where the airport authorities refuse to give permission to land, and then the plane eventually lands at another airport strip in the Air Force premise. That scene is tacky to say the least. And like those movies of 70s and 80s, the heroine gets pregnancy pangs at the airport during a very crucial scene. While this film is a scene-to-scene remake of the Tamil film, the supporting characters don't quite have the impact that they do in the original one. Akshay Kumar is earnest and serviceable. There is only so much an actor can do if the writing is weak. Take the scene, for example, at the airport where he literally begs people for money so that he can buy a ticket to visit his ailing father. That's another scene that goes on and on and on. But Sarfira will be another example where the story is interesting, but the storytelling is very ordinary. I'm going to go with 2 out of 5 stars for Akshay Kumar's Sarfira. Well, that's what I thought of the films that were released this week. Do let us know what you think. And I'll be back with you next week with more movie reviews. Till then, it's goodbye from me.